Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting deep. There's a long list of questions that I want to get through, so grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, because it's a long one. French fries, for sure. Definitely my guilty pleasure. March 12th, so mark your calendars, set your alarms. It's gonna be crazy. We've been working on this collection for a while now, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. You're gonna love it. It feels even more elevated. I'm stoked. Ooh, this is a good one. I have been loving Crash Landing on You and Itaewon Class. When I was in Korea last year, I just had this moment during my trip where I felt like once I get back to LA, I really want to get into some sort of fitness, but I've always wanted to try CrossFit, and I don't know why, because it wasn't like anyone in my family or my friend group, they weren't doing it. But I think I really enjoy that hardcore interval type of training, HIIT training. I've tried to do like the Pilates and I've tried yoga. Not saying yoga is just for working out, because I know it's about stretching and meditating and all of that, but just in general, I've tried a ton of different classes, SoulCycle, all of that, and nothing has ever excited me. And so yeah, I started researching while in Korea, potential CrossFit locations that I wanted to check out, and that's how it began. It's changed me in so many ways, in a lot of good ways. I am definitely more disciplined. It's taught me how to keep pushing, work hard. It helps you face your insecurities. It helps boost your confidence. It's empowering. It's supportive. It's just so many things. At my gym, yes, they definitely help you with your form. My first day compared to now is night and day, which I'm so proud of. I've always done squats in the past, but it's a whole different ballpark when you have the barbell or you're doing deadlifts. It feels different, and so my coaches have definitely corrected my form, helped me improve my form. They've given me tips and tricks just on my breathing, so they're extremely helpful. I love creating vlog content, but I'd be lying if I told you that I don't dread it at times, especially through the rough times. I find that it's the hardest to shoot vlog content because it's the last thing I want to do. And I also feel that pressure to always make every single vlog really exciting, really fun, or else I feel like people won't be interested and I'm just hard on myself. But in reality, my life isn't me traveling 24/7. Definitely have my weeks where I'm like a hermit and I spend the entire week editing. So it's not that I'm tired of making vlog content, because that's actually what I enjoy most, but I do run through obstacles where I am a little bit doubtful, or I get really stressed from editing my vlogs, because once I'm finished with the vlog and I upload it, it's like the next day I'm editing a whole nother vlog, and they just take so much time because there's so much footage involved. Sometimes there's 2 hours worth of footage and I need to condense that to 30 minutes and then jazz it up, and it's a lot. But vlogs are actually my favorite type of content to produce, and you guys seem to enjoy it, which makes it all worth it. Yes. It's been a minute since I've done a meet and greet. I think the last one I've done was with SK2, like official meet and greet, and I don't even know how long ago that was. But I actually am doing a meet and greet this year. I'm not sure about the date yet. It's sometime later this year. It's gonna be in New York, so I will keep you guys posted on that. Hopefully I can meet some of my East Coast babies out there. I'll keep you posted. Ooh, this is a tough one. The hardest thing I struggle with is probably my body. I don't think I've ever really talked about this on my channel. To be completely transparent, I feel sometimes the social responsibility to be a great role model, to have this positive voice and outlook on life, and just to be a good example for people who look up to me. And it's also just such a sensitive topic that I don't think I've ever really been ready to talk about it, but it's definitely my body. I struggle with it on a daily. I probably have for my entire life. I wouldn't even say I have a love and hate relationship with my body, because most of the time it's just hate. Body image is an ongoing journey for me. I don't really talk about it here on my channel. I know a lot of you could probably relate, but I grew up just picking myself apart and never fully feeling confident and happy in my own skin. And obviously, like, having this career and being in LA, and then social media took off, like that stuff doesn't help. You know, I try my best to keep a level head. I'm still on that self-love journey. I hope that one day in the future I'll be able to feel so confident and to fully feel comfortable in my own skin. Not quite there yet, but at least I know I'm healthy and I'm taking care of myself. However, I will say that I am really grateful for my health, and I try to stay active and I try to eat healthy. My sister has always told me since I was very young that I have body dysmorphia, and I don't use that term lightly. I'm pretty sure there's levels of that, but maybe I do have a small case of that. I'm just really hard on myself, and that's like the one thing where I really wish I could own it, because everything else in my life is great. I feel like I'm overcoming a lot of these things that I've struggled with, but body image is like, whew, that's a tough one. Maybe I can talk about it more in another video. We'll see. There's really no right answer for this, but for me personally, there are moments where I'm still trying to find balance. It's an ongoing thing. You're never gonna find the balance and it's gonna stay that way forever. Like, at some point, you're gonna have a moment where you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to do a better job at kind of structuring and scheduling my days out better. I guess one advice I could give you is that your calendar is your best friend, whether you have a journal or you use the iCal on your phone. I use that religiously, and no plan is set unless it's in the calendar, okay? That may sound silly to you, and you may be the type of person to only use it for work, but I think when your work schedule is so crazy, it's good to have everything out on the calendar. That way, when you want to meet up with a friend, you can see what day you're actually free. In my calendar, I have all my work things highlighted in red and my personal in blue. And it's really helpful. And that way you can really visualize your week or your month and see where you do have a free day, or where you can squeeze a friend in, or when you have some free time for yourself. You know, whatever it is, I think all of those things are so important, and everyone deserves to be able to work, but also spend time with friends and have me time. So that's the best way to do it. So try it out, and hopefully that works for you. There definitely has to be some sort of physical attraction. Not that that's everything, because it ain't, but it's definitely natural to at least have that checked. And then from there, it's connection. Like, what are your values? How are you as a person? But also, what's really important to me is stability and career. I think in the past, the first thing I would look at wholeheartedly was, are you a good person? Do you have a good heart? And nothing else really mattered. And I found myself getting in a lot of relationships where resentment will build up, things started to go wrong, there was no stability, and now I'm able to really know what it is that I want and don't want. Though a good connection and a good heart is really important to me, I think once you start to get older, you know, I'm not super young, but I'm 27, and when I think about longevity and actually having a future with someone, then I want to feel safe. I want to feel taken care of at times. I want a really stable relationship where there is balance and ambition and drive, and all of that. So does that answer your question? Of course, I think about a lot of my past relationships, not just my most recent one, but for many reasons. Sometimes a funny memory can come up and it actually make me laugh, or other times where I'm reflecting and I'm like, he wasn't the one. I think it's really normal to think about your previous relationships. I've learned so much from every single one. Sometimes it just trips me out, because when you're in those relationships, it feels like home, and it feels like the routine, and your life was just down this road and you thought that that was it. But literally things can go 360 and your whole entire life can just change. I feel that way now because literally a year and a half ago, I just thought like, this is it. And no, like there was a whole nother plan for me, and I'm so grateful and really happy for the experiences of all of my past relationships. I don't think anyone can stay positive all the time. I mean, we're humans. We deal with all emotions, whether it's anger, sadness, depression, but there are ways for you to try and get out of that state. You know, sometimes it's just a season. Life gets hard for everyone at some point, and during those times, maybe it's good for you to just feel those feelings and those emotions. For me, a really rough year was 2019, and I had like 3-4 month period where I was crying all the time. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to work. I was just like a mess. I didn't want to see friends. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I needed to go through it alone. And it's not for everyone. And I'm not saying just like cut out everyone in your life, but I was in a place where even from the people who loved me most, they could try to help me get out of this funk that I was in, but I almost didn't want to hear it because I felt like a disconnect, feeling like you're not in my shoes, so you don't truly know how it feels. And it was just some dark shit that I needed to get through on my own. But once I was ready to receive love from people and their support, I reached out, and it was amazing. All my friends played such a huge part in me feeling happy again. But I guess my point is, there's no way to stay positive all the time. If anything, if you were always happy, always positive, you never went through hardships, you never went through the fucking lows, then you wouldn't be as wise as you are. You wouldn't learn from these experiences. And I've grown the most from going through some tough shit. So I guess instead of asking how can you stay positive all the time, it's like thinking about things that you can do when you are feeling low. I feel like there's just 2 levels to it, right? I mean, for work, for example, I do try to stay very positive, but there are moments where I get very stressed out. And I like to remind myself also how grateful I am and how lucky and blessed I am to be doing something that I love. Not a lot of people have the opportunity, and I'm aware of that. And not that I'm saying that my feelings or my stress isn't valid, but I like to put things in perspective sometimes because it helps me stay grounded and also to just keep pushing. And so, you know, that's the way I try to have like a positive outlook on work and stress. But, you know, other times you just gotta feel what you feel, but also know it's not the end. Even with the dark seasons, you always push through and you'll see the light. I think a big part of me being the way I am is because I'm born and raised in Virginia, from a small ass town where there is just nothing but like trees and grass and farms. I feel like this world was just given to me. I definitely didn't chase this life. I've never been the type to get caught up in that lifestyle. There are people in this space who just have so much power and take advantage of that and are very manipulative, and it's a whole dark world. I'm not saying if you're like from LA and you're a YouTuber then you're not grounded, but I do feel like being from Virginia has really grounded me. Yeah, I don't know, I just never got caught up in it. And I also don't think I'm like this big YouTuber, like, and I'm not discrediting myself, but you know, I am very happy with where I'm at, and I don't crave like making it on top and being a social climber. There's just, that shit's wild to me. I'll never understand it, and yeah. Yes and no. Yes, because let's be real, sometimes you just get a little lonely. You find yourself watching Netflix alone and you're like, damn, it'd be nice to have someone right there. But other times I'm like, no, like it actually terrifies me because I finally gotten to such a good place, and getting someone else involved or going through that whole notion of feeling like you kind of lose your independence sometimes with dating. There's a lot to be said here, but to be transparent with you, since my last relationship, I have dated a few guys, and it's been really great. Like I've met some really cool people. I've connected with some extremely genuine, awesome guys. They don't always work out, but I end up being really great friends with them. If I have just a connection with you, whether it's romantic or platonic, that's special to me. There are times where I'm lonely and I feel like it'd be nice to have someone, but there are definitely times where I'm like, no, you're good. And you don't even have the time. You're so busy with work, with women. I ask myself, do you really think this is a good time for that? And I don't know. I've learned a lot about what I want in a guy and what I don't want in a guy. It's been interesting, but no, I am not like actively looking. I will date though. I'll go on a date and see how it goes. I'm not against that. I don't really know. I don't have the answers. At this point, like so much in my life has changed in the past year. I'm just down for the ride. I feel really confident in where I'm at. So that's like the most important thing for me. Well, dating culture today is very different from the way it used to be. I think a couple years ago, it was a lot easier to meet someone out or in an organic way, maybe friends of a friend. Now, the trending thing to do is meet people on dating apps. I'm actually on a dating app and I've met a couple of guys through the app, and it's really interesting. I always told myself, like when dating apps was first a thing, like I will never do it. But then it just became a normal thing. We're in 2020. I don't really know how else I'm gonna meet new people. I tell my friends this all the time, but you go out with your friends. For me, I'm so present in the moment. When I'm with my friends, I'm just with them. So there's that. I'm not really gonna meet anyone when I'm out with them. And it's so rare for me to really go out and dedicate a night to meeting someone. I was lucky enough to have met really solid guys from the app. It just wasn't like a romantic thing. But then also it can get a little weird, you know? I feel like I have to look out for myself a lot on dating apps because of privacy or trying to protect myself, or like people having preconceived notions about me. Some guys are just like, hey, what's your Instagram? Like that's like their first line. Sure, I guess it's a natural thing to eventually get someone's handle on Instagram, but like at least share a few words first. I've also felt like people engage with me because they want something from me, or like anything, a lot of good things can come out of it, and also just a lot of weird shit. But I'm okay with that, and I know how to handle myself, and I know what I want. I know my intuition. Ideally, it'd be nice to meet someone who isn't familiar with me. And I'm not saying like I'm like this hot shit girl that everyone needs to know. I'm not saying that. But have there been cases where people will message me and they know a lot about me? Yes. And I think that it can be a little weird sometimes, because it's special when you get to meet someone and they don't know anything about you and you get to share that out of my own mouth, you know? And then vice versa, you're actually getting to know the person. But it always makes me feel a little bit weird when someone finds out my handle, or they find my channel and they watch my vlogs and like they know all of this shit before I can tell it to them. And for me, I think that's where it's tricky being a content creator, also single, being on dating apps. It gets a little complicated. Girl, sometimes I don't have the motivation, but I don't let that continue for too long. But there are days where I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym. Nah, I'm actually gonna go out to eat with my friends. But overall, I would say I have a lot of motivation to hit the gym. And I think it's because I enjoy CrossFit so much. It's so fun, it's therapy, it's stress relieving, it's my escape. I never have walked away from class feeling like, oh damn, like I wish I didn't go, or I don't feel good right now. Like no one has ever said that. Whenever you go to the gym, you always feel good after. It's just a fact, you know? You feel lighter, you feel more positive. That's the way that I always feel leaving class. And so I kind of get addicted to that feeling of just wanting to feel so amazing and great after. And that's the motivation. That's the motivation for me to go every day, or not every day, but as much as I can. I would have told myself to stop being reckless with my money and stop splurging on materialistic shit that in the end just like comes and goes, you know? I don't think anyone could have told me what to do because you just got to go through those experiences to learn. But also another thing I would have told myself is to be on top of your taxes. You don't learn this shit in school, especially 1099s, independent contractors, creatives. Like, we're not taught about this type of stuff. And so when I first started YouTube, I wasn't paying taxes. I didn't even know like how to go about it. A couple of years later, got slammed with a fat ass fee and money that I owed. Those are the two things that I would have told myself for sure. Just be smarter with your money, save while you're young, while you can make money, and be on top of your taxes. I actually have people who work for me. I have accountants who do all my bookkeeping, my payroll, for my employees. They file my taxes, my returns, all of that. They're in charge of that. And I also have my financial advisors who help me with my goals in life and with my retirement fund, my 401k. They help me with investments. Whatever questions I have about finances, I can go to them for. You don't need to have a lot of money to have a financial advisor. It's always great to set goals and plan, no matter how much money you make. My diet has changed a lot just because I can actually eat now. My entire life, I've had a really horrible relationship with food, not because of like a disorder, but because I had so much pain whenever I ate anything because I had gallstones in my gallbladder. So if you guys are new to my channel, I got my gallbladder removed last year and it was the best decision of my life. I've had these problems in my stomach since I was like in 7th grade. And so whenever I would eat something, I would always have to throw it up and I would have so much pain in my chest and it was just horrible. After I got my surgery and I was able to eat and the food could actually stay inside of me, I'm like 102 pounds, a very healthy weight for my size. I'm 5'1". As far as my metabolism, I think it's always been the same. I don't think I have like fast metabolism, though I wish I did. I don't, unfortunately. But I guess the biggest things would be like diet and weight. Throughout the week, I'm pretty much eating clean. It's just been great that I can eat anything and feel fine. Like I haven't had a single like anything, no pain, no nothing since my surgery. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful. So grateful. I was debating on answering this, but I got so many questions about this. So many. I am genuinely happy for him and his new chapter in his life. I feel this way about any of my exes. I think when you spend a couple of years with someone and you've built not just a romantic relationship, but you've built a friendship, it's kind of weird to think, oh, because you're not with this person, like you hate them and you only think like ill thoughts about them. But for me, it's a little different. No matter what has happened, I know that I do care about this person, you know, and I want them to be happy. I'm happy for anyone in my past who has moved on and is in a new relationship. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes it's hard to believe when shit hits the fan and you're like asking yourself, why is this happening? This makes no sense. But you'll learn later on why. You won't know immediately. Well, once time goes by, you truly get the answers. And I've gotten enough answers to know that everything played out the way it was supposed to. And I am just so grateful to have experienced, you know, that moment in time with that person. And moving forward, I want nothing but the best for them. This is a great question because I kind of have trust issues as well. Got a lot of baggage. But I think that if you're dating someone new in your life, everyone deserves like a clean slate. I think it's unfair for you to bring that trauma to that relationship and have these like preconceived notions about a person that you don't even know, or someone who's been just amazing to you, but you've gone through so much stuff where it's kind of like made you always paranoid or fearful or, you know, having trust issues, what have you. If you're not ready to truly open up your heart and be genuine and start off fresh, then that's a sign that you're just not ready to date. or get into anything. If you're still holding so much of that past with you, I'd say it'd be healthy to just kind of be on your own for a bit. Feel those moments and recognize them, but also forgive and move forward, because ultimately if you don't, it always holds you back. It really does. Trust me, I've been there. It wasn't until I just could release those ill thoughts and forgive and move on where I feel free. Just keep in mind that everyone deserves that chance to make their own representation of themselves out on the table. It's unfair for you to bring up stuff from the past or give someone a hard time when they've done nothing but just like be genuine to you, you know? So if you can't do that, then just take some time for yourself until you're ready. There's like two things. It's really hard to have an opinion when you're in the public eye. I see it a lot in this space where if you just have an opinion about something, like people come after you. And I think it's unfair, because despite how many people watch our videos and us being in the public light, we are human. Like, I'm no different from you besides just the space that I'm in. I just think the constant opinions and judgments about you can be like taxing. Another thing that's like, that kind of sucks is feeling like people want something from you, or feeling like you're just like an object and not a person with feelings. Sometimes I meet like random people who don't know me, but then they have found out about who I am or something, and they're just like trying way too hard, and it's like, girl, or guy, it's just like, relax. I go through things like that from time to time, but it's nothing that I can't handle. No, I own this house by myself, and I'm assuming this person is asking like, when my ex moved out, was it hard for me to pay the mortgage by myself? And no, it was not. I definitely made sure when purchasing this home to think about the what ifs, and like, if we broke up one day, would I be able to afford this home by myself? Yes, I've thought about all those things. I don't like to go in any situation just unprepared. Anything can happen, so it's always good to be prepared. And I made sure when getting this home that I'd be good on my own. So I am doing all right. I love this question. I've always been a relationship type of gal. I've always been in relationships. My friends make fun of me for it, and I almost like hated when they would joke about it, because there was some truth to it that I didn't want to admit to, but I just didn't like being alone. But it wasn't until I spent this year alone to myself with my own thoughts, understanding that I don't need anyone to complete me. I complete myself. I am wholeheartedly okay on my own. If I do ever meet anyone in the future, it's only an added like bonus. But I will say, during this process, I've learned the most about myself. You don't got no one to report to. It's definitely been the turning point in my life, in my growth. At this point in my life, I'm just so career focused. I'm like full throttle, so busy with work that it's been great. I honestly feel just really proud of myself. So, all right, you guys, that was a lot of talking. My throat actually hurts. I need to make some tea after this. But I really wanted to just kind of get deep with you guys, because I don't get to do that much. You guys have a lot of great questions on just life in general, so let me know if you'd like to see more of these. Hope you were able to get to know me a little bit more. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'll see you soon.